Hello, everyone. If you're joining us this evening or wherever you might be, welcome to 5 Best Kept Secrets for Keeping Him Captivated with You Long Term. And the things that we're going to go over in this masterclass, ladies, these are principles that you can apply and you can see results in just 90 days. That's right. In just 90 days, you can see results from the things that we're going to cover in this masterclass. So I'm very happy to have you here this afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. And I just want to say welcome. You really could have been anywhere else tonight, but welcome. So as you join, just drop, any questions that you have in the chat. I will be addressing those questions individually and directly after this training. So please don't be shy. Drop those questions right down below. All right. And the main thing we want to make sure of before we get started is, are you in the right place? Is this masterclass for you? So, ladies, this masterclass is going to be for you. If you've been wondering how you can keep your man's interest over time, right? I know a lot of ladies ask me, how to sustain a long-term relationship? What does it really take to keep your man's interest over a long period of time? How do we make sure that we keep that flame burning? It's also going to be for women wanting to gain or regain the respect and adoration of their man. Oftentimes, women have either started relationships that have not had a foundation of respect, or they've gotten themselves in relationships and they're cruising through the courting phase, the dating phase, but once they get in that relationship and things really start to settle, they wonder how they can maintain that level of respect. This masterclass is also for you if you're looking to progress a relationship. If your relationship feels stuck, if it feels like it's been at a standstill and you're wondering, what am I missing? Why has that not progressed forward? And last but not least, women looking to improve the quality of effort from their man within their relationship, right? Because again, as we mentioned, things can start off very hot and heavy, very, high effort. And as comfort settles in, you might notice a wane in the quality of your man's effort. But I want to tell you, ladies, there is nothing, when I say nothing, I mean nothing outside of a woman's reach. If you want a relationship that lasts forever, you can have that. If you want a man to see your value when he's acting like he doesn't, you can have that. If your relationship feels stagnant and you want to move it forward, guess what? You can have that. I'm going to make you believe it by the end of this masterclass, so make sure you stay tuned. And speaking of staying tuned, let's talk about what's ahead. 3 areas that we're going to kind of delve into why you want to stay ahead into the end. We're going to talk about the importance of tickling his brain. What does that mean? You'll find out. Just stay tuned. Awakening his inner warrior. Yes, lady, that's a big, big part of it. But an even bigger part of it is channeling your inner goddess. And we're going to talk about that some more, but just to kind of give you a preview ahead, tickling his brain is about the ability to stimulate him mentally, right? So things like good conversation, going deeper than the surface level things. Every woman out here is pretty much the same these days, so I'm giving you tools to set yourself apart from the pack, because really and truly, when a man looks for a woman to love, cherish, and keep, he's looking for a unicorn, and he's looking for someone that really stands out from the pack. Awakening his inner warrior. Well, what does that mean? Always giving him something to work for or fight for, okay? And whether it's an air of mystery, so we have to wonder what you're thinking, or other techniques that we'll get into here. These are very important. Awakening his inner warrior is something that you don't want to sleep on. And lastly, channeling your inner goddess. What is that about? In a nutshell, channeling your inner goddess is about knowing your worth and being a representation of that, right? So we're going to talk about what that looks like so that you can really understand what you need to do in order to do that. Okay? But before we get too deep in, I want to provide an introduction. I'm Jay of OJ Merge. I'm sure that's where most of you know me from. But I'm also Joanne. That's my government name. So I want you all to be comfortable and aware of that. Um, and, this was really me 3 years ago. And I call this the journey from confusion and disappointment to now. Why? Well, this was me 3 years ago on my wedding day. And you're looking at two people here who are basking in the glory of, making a commitment to each other, marrying the person that they love, and being excited to start a new journey. But to be honest, for me to get to this place, it took a lot of pain, took a lot of frustration, and much more self-reflection for me to get to this point. And what I'm really here to do, ladies, is shorten that journey for you as much as I can. We all learn through trial and error, but if I can share the things that I've learned that got me to where I am today, I'm happy to share it for you and help you to not deal with some of the same trials and errors that I had to go through to get here. All right, this picture is so funny to look at. This was me 7 years prior to getting married. And I say this is when a relationship coach and specialist was truly born. These were my college years. And through trial and error, heartbreak, pain, a relationship coach was born. During these years, I was in college and I really started to learn more about myself. But also, I really started to learn about men, how they operate, what moves them, what sparks action, and what do they look for in a woman that they want to keep around. And a lot of people will tell you that college is a time for growth and learning. They might say, during this time, nobody's really ready to commit or nobody's really ready to do anything serious. But the truth is, I was seeing women in long-term relationships, getting engaged shortly after college, marrying their college sweethearts. And I'm thinking, wow, these women must have a secret. They must know something, because how is it that, a man will commit to one woman, or he'll give one woman his all, or he'll even go above and beyond for a woman, but won't do it for another woman? And I'll tell you, ladies, it has nothing to do with looks. It has nothing to do with how much money you make, what your successes are, how smart you are. The things that really move a man are really best kept secrets. And I feel that most women won't really open up and talk about these things. They won't really talk about what it takes to make a man decide to commit and crown that queen. And it also has nothing to do with the age of a man. So I want to equip you all with that information. These are a few testimonials. These come from my clients and my community. I've had great feedback from the people that I work with. And I'm just excited to share this message. I'm so tired of seeing women fall short in the realm of love. I'm so tired of seeing women settle or have a hit to their self-esteem, thinking that they're not good enough or that they're missing something. It's just not fair, because women, you have it all. You have everything you need right now to have the type of love that you want. And if nobody shares that with you, then I fear that you'll continue to create the same cycle over and over and over again. So I've helped over 50 women already, and that number is growing. And I'm looking forward to continue to share this message, share my testimonial, and have other women cultivate a mindset where they can soon share their very own testimonials. Okay, so the $1 million question: what keeps a man captivated by a woman. We're not going to delay. We're going to jump right into it, ladies. So let's talk about it. The first thing that I want to touch on is depth. What does that mean? Well, depth is the opposite of surface level. If you're looking at this picture to your right, you see a deep blue sea, right? There's almost no end to the ocean that we know of. If you dive into the ocean and you go deep enough, there's a whole nother level, and there's another level beyond that, and there's another level beyond that. I think the problem with most women are they're keeping it very surface level. You know, I'm cute, I'm pretty, I make a lot of money, I cook, I clean, I'm funny. All of that is cute and it's well, but think of those things like your accessories. Those things just add to you, but those things are not you. Who are you? Do you tend to keep things surface level? Most men are attracted long term to someone who helps them to be deep thinkers. So when I say deep thinkers, and you may think to yourself, you know, how do I portray depth? I mean, it could be love, it could be politics, art, music, life itself. What are you passionate about? When you sit down and think about what is something that I could talk about for hours and hours, think about that. That's a great start for showing your man that you have depth. If you're passionate about the arts, spark up a conversation about the arts and ask your man, you know, what is his favorite art? Has he ever drawn before? What is his favorite form of art? What does he appreciate about art? And there may be times where, you know, you and your man don't share the same interests, but always remember you can use your interest as a leeway into his interest and get him talking. The key here is depth and not being too surface level, because ultimately, you know, men operate sometimes from a very external place and they're looking for a woman to help them explore their internal world deeper. And that doesn't always come natural to a man. But if he finds that when he's with you, he's looking inside of himself more, he's getting to know himself more, he's going to be attracted to that. And if you keep that up long term, that's like a never ending well for you to continue to pull from. So definitely help him to use his imagination. All right, ladies. This one is interesting, but it's one of my favorite. Mystery. Okay? Men like to hunt. And this is going to tap into you awakening his inner warrior. It's not the same as being secretive or sneaky, you know, but it is the need to not always feel as if you have to fill up silence with words. Are you a super chatty woman? It's okay if you are. You know, no one's here to tell you that you need to change. But I am telling you to become more self-aware of who you are and how you conduct yourself in certain instances, because you can use these tools to your advantage. And the power of mystery is you're not always telling your man every single thing that you're thinking, that you're feeling, that you're doing. You know, do you have to tell him everything you did today, every day? Maybe leave room so that he can ask you, babe, what did you do today? Did you do anything interesting? Did anything out of the norm happen? But at the moment you picking up the phone, you're filling up that silence with words. You know, he could start to feel a little overwhelmed, and maybe not overwhelmed, just the fact that, oh, I know everything about her. And if I don't know, she's sure to tell me. See, going back to men like to hunt, you have to allow him an opportunity to wonder and ask you questions. It self-reflects back to him that he has a deeper interest in you. Because guess what? And yes, we're getting a little bit into psychology here, but if you always or often have to ask someone about themselves in order to learn more about that person, that's telling you, I must be awfully interested in this person because I sure ask a lot of questions. So I know a lot of you have never thought of it like that, but take that into consideration moving forward. Mystery is a very powerful tool. All right. Expanding on awakening his inner warrior. You need to offer a challenge. If you want that man long term, because a lot of times in the dating phase, we use all of these techniques and we get the man. But once you get the man, the next question is, how are you going to keep that man, and how are you going to keep him present and engaged in the relationship? It's very simple. And sometimes as humans, the basic things fly over our heads, right? So if you got him by presenting a challenge, what makes you think that you do not have to continue to present a challenge to keep him engaged? Okay, so going back into awakening his inner warrior, men like having something to fight for. If you see this man climbing the cliff here, you see he's in a life-risking position, but all he cares about is getting to the top of that mountain. And look at him once he conquers that. Once he conquers that task, he feels like he's on top of the world. He believes that, wow, I really had to work for that. This was a value. This makes me feel like a man. And ladies, I know a lot of this goes over our heads, and that's why I'm here. Because men and women are literally from two different planets, it seems sometimes. And the things in the way that moves them in a certain way, these are things that we were not taught. And these are the things that don't come second nature to us because we're literally operating from a completely different space, right? And let me be clear, offering a challenge to your man is not the same as being a drama queen. Men are looking for peace, okay? But at the same time, you must not be afraid of conflict or calling out bad behavior. For example, too many women give up everything at ground zero, and we're gonna think about the mountain man here for this. But give up everything at ground zero without making a man work for it. As a result, we hurt ourselves because we think, well, he should be appreciative and he should want to give back all that I'm giving to him. Like, how could you not want that? I'm giving you my all, right? Because as a woman, if somebody's giving you your all, if somebody's giving you their all, you're thinking, wow, this is Prince Charming. I owe it all back, right? But unfortunately, ladies, men and women, we think with two different brains. So we have to get to a place where we're speaking each other's language. Now, meanwhile, that's what the woman is thinking. He's thinking, where was the climb? And he feels like he's still at ground zero versus a man who has to climb. And when he gets all of the rewards, he feels like he's on, he got something easy. That's it. That's the critical difference in how men and women think. He's thinking, where was the climb? She's just my friend with benefits, but she's at my house every day cooking, washing my laundry, giving me sex 4 times a week. Oh, and she might be pregnant, so she might actually be about to bear me a child as well. I have it all. Oh, and she makes all the money and she's paying all the bills. Where was the climb? When you really think about it, do you think that makes a man feel good about himself? When he gets everything that he wants without having to work for it or without a challenge? No, that makes him feel like a fraud. That makes him feel like a cheat. And that makes him feel like he's unworthy of the things that he's getting. And unfortunately, as women, you will often see the results of a man feeling that way through his bad behavior. All right, so we're going to move on now. The next thing you must have, ladies, in order to keep him captivated long term, you need to have standards or laws, okay? And I know law sounds a little aggressive. It sounds like, hold on now, are we in court? Are we in jail? What's going on? You can use standards because it's a much better word, but I prefer to think of it as laws. What keeps us in check as a society? Those are laws put in place. When laws are put in place, if you do something crazy, you're going to land your ass in jail. And now you have to decide, do I want to be in jail or do I want to be free? Well, it's the same thing in a relationship with a man as a woman. There are certain things a quote unquote goddess, or I like to call us warriors, right? Because it's like the feminine version of a warrior. And we all have that masculine energy as well, but you have to use it to your favor. Um, there are certain things a warrior would not tolerate without you feeling her wrath. And believe it or not, that's called having standards. Her wrath doesn't have to be violent. It shouldn't be violence, you know, but her wrath could be as simple as her absence or the separation between her offerings and the man. See, as a woman, you have to know what you bring to the table, and you have to know what your value is as an individual and within the relationship. And your wrath could simply be you saying, I'm taking this away from you. Because if you cannot abide by my simple standards, which is to be loyal, to be faithful, to be a partner, to be a contributor, to be a leader, to be a lover, or whatever your list entails, then if he can't hold up his end of the bargain, then your end of the bargain is to separate yourself or create absence or space. The lady in this picture is holding a scale, and that stands for justice, which stands for equality. Now, not in the same sense as maybe feminism, but equality means you put in what you want to get out. Don't give me the short end of the stick because I won't accept it. There's many women out here who will, but I am not one of them, okay? So there are laws or principles, whatever you choose to call them, that a goddess requires a man to follow if he wants to be in her good graces. And that's plain and simple. And he can choose not to be in your good graces. That's cool too. But you have to know what you stand for. Next, self-care, okay? Self-care means displaying your love for yourself through your presentation, your hygiene, your mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional self-care. When a person sees the love you have for yourself, it shows them you are worthy of love. Teach people how to treat you, okay? So that's what it boils down to. Self-care could be a bubble bath. It could be you getting your nails done. It could be you taking time for yourself that can be uninterrupted, for you to meditate, for you to pray, for you to reflect on the person that you are, the person that you want to be, the type of people that you want to entertain. Okay? It could be giving yourself a wax or getting a massage. I mean, the outlets are endless, but the importance is self-care is important. None of us are going to wake up and be divas every single day. But self-care means, sometimes when you wake up, put yourself together, even if you don't have anywhere to be. Make sure that your hair is done. Make sure that your face is clean. Make sure that your hygiene is on point. Because what that displays is, if nobody else loves me, I do. And if you're going to be in my space, you better love me the same or more as I love myself. And that's really self-explanatory. So, ladies, I want you to know that you're here to serve, but you are not a slave, okay? So please, don't look like one. Don't look like one. Men are very visual, and it doesn't mean we have to be perfect, but it does mean we need to be mindful. So I want to go over a brief overview of what we went over today. Tickle his brain, ask questions he hasn't been asked before. By asking questions that will cause him to think deeper and reflect on who he is and who he wants to become. And if he sees that with you, he's a man that is growing and evolving, he's going to want to be around you for a long time. Because there's a lot of women out here that can't do nothing for you but give you something wet to slide in. But guess what? If he realizes that he's developing as an individual, he's going to wonder, who could I become 5 years from now? Who could I become 10 years from now, 20 years from now, if I stay in her good graces? And if I continue to be the man that I know that I can be, okay? Tickle his brain by having an air of mystery about yourself. Cause him to scratch his head while wondering, what is she thinking? That means don't talk too much. allow him to speak, allow him to fill that empty space and kind of talk to you about what's going on, what he's thinking. Sometimes we fill up space because we're afraid of silence. And that's the opposite of being mysterious, okay? And you want to offer a challenge as well. And emphasis on never stop. You can offer a challenge in the beginning of a relationship, but if you stop doing that throughout the relationship, things will get stale. Awakening his inner warrior means giving him something to fight for at all times. And again, that has nothing to do with being a drama queen, but I'm happy to help you unpack that and what that truly looks like. Also, set standards. Make sure he's clear on what they are, right? So throughout your relationship, there will be times where you might have to reassert what your standards are, because if you don't have standards, you're a doormat. If you don't have standards and laws that need to be abided by in order for someone to have your time, your resources, and your love, then you're essentially like a free Mercedes-Benz being pulled out the lot. Nobody's letting you pull a free Mercedes-Benz out the lot, right? You got to sit down. You got to read the terms and conditions. You have to do the paperwork. You have to understand what is involved in order for you to drive off the lot with this. The same thing applies in a relationship. Keep those standards alive and make sure he's clear on what they are. And lastly, just to recap what we went through today, you want to practice self-care and self-preservation without guilt. If you're not practicing self-care, you're emptying your cup, you're giving all of your resources away, and you're not getting anything back. And at the very least, ladies, if nobody gives you anything back, you're responsible for giving yourself something back. Give yourself something back by showing yourself that I love you. I'm here for you. I care about you. You matter. You are worthy. And that can look different for everyone. For some, it's just taking a day trip away. It's a bubble bath. It's lighting candles. It's listening to music. It's taking care of your appearance, your hair, your nails, your hygiene, your body. Going to the gym for some of us. So making sure that you're practicing that self-care and you are not abandoning yourself for the sake of everyone else. Because if you look like you don't care, no one else will. Okay? All right. So I do want to welcome you ladies to join me in the Warriors Unleashed 4.0 program. In this program, you will get regular one-on-one coaching calls, unlimited email support, in-depth modules to transform your mindset, your approach, and give you clarity on your next steps moving forward. And you'll have a sense of community so you don't feel alone in this anymore, okay? Warriors Unleashed was designed to help women awaken their inner feminine warrior. Gone are the days of feeling confused in your relationship and wanting more, wondering how you can get more. But finally, there's a program for you to help you attain the assurance, empowerment, and clarity you've been seeking, and to just help you manage all of this. And this is practical, proven, and ready-to-use techniques. So I'm so excited for you to join me over in the Warriors program. It is so action and value-packed, and you have no choice but to transform from this program. A little bit more into what the Warriors program offers. Again, those weekly calls are set up so that you have consistent support on your journey and transformation. I know sometimes as women, we can feel alone while we're navigating the ups and downs of, seeking the love that we want. And there's not always someone there to really help you and say, hey, I'm going to take your hand and I'm going to get you through this. And you're going to see the bright side at the end of this tunnel. You get 2 coaches for 1. So it's not just me, Jay, but my husband is also available to you. You can coach with me and my husband, O. So you get both a male and female point of view, because to be honest, life is just not black or white, right? We're all involved here. So it's always useful to have both that male and female point of view. And then also you'll have your in-depth modules. So you'll be able to sign in with your login information, and everything you need to make a transformation in 90 days will be there. This content is consistently updated. It's customized just for you. You have scripts, you have exclusive interviews, you have your self-guided workbook, and so much more than I can even cover in this call. It's just going to be so packed with value that at the end of this 90 days, you'll be blown away with how far you come, how much you've grown, and how your mindset has shifted, as well as your relationships. And then you'll also get my ebook, Unlock Your Inner Warriors and Stop Getting Less. This is to give you added insight into what you've been doing wrong and how you can shift your actions into your favor. Of course, you'll also have unlimited email access. You know, OJ Merge, we're a busy couple of folks, so we can't answer any email, but we do prioritize our clients. And if you send us an email, you'll get answered on demand because we're here to take this on with you. And then last but not least, you'll have WhatsApp access. So you never really have to feel alone. And it's really good for emergency and insight on the fly. All right, so let's talk about the limited time offer we have available for the Warriors Unleashed 4.0 program. Now, this is usually a $2,799 value program with all that's offered within 90 days. So, you know, 3 months is a significant amount of time for us to work with you and really take this on with you, right? But I want to offer a Halloween special, and it's going to be valid through November the 15th for $799, like literally knocking off $2,000, because for me, it's not about your money, okay? I'm giving a huge discount because as we approach the end of the year, I really want to see you all reach your New Year love resolution goals. My reason for doing this is to help women, okay? I want to see a shift in the world and the way women operate in relationships. And to me, you can't put a dollar amount on that. So I don't mind providing this discount in order to make you a believer, because you absolutely will find value and transform from the Warriors Unleashed program. But you have to act on this offer by November the 15th. So I'm literally giving you ladies 2 weeks to, make a decision on this. And don't forget that we do offer payment plans. So this is not something you have to pay up front. This is something that you can pay over the duration of your mentorship. And again, I am always here for y'all questions. I love the emails. I love the comments on YouTube, Facebook. And that's what I'm here for ultimately. If there was enough hours in the day to just answer you guys' emails, that's likely what I would be doing. But please drop your emails in the chat and I'll reach out to you individually. Not individually, because I don't think that's a word, but individually to address your questions so that we can further the conversation. And last but not least, I just want to thank you so much for your time tonight. Greatly appreciated. I know we all lead very busy lives and you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to take some time to invest in learning about your love goals and how you can make those a reality. And for that, I can't thank you enough for your courage and your time. So I want to encourage you to visit www.ojmerge.com/Merge Academy. And you know what? Go ahead and book your free strategy session so that you can learn how OJ Merge can help you today. We'll chop it up through that free strategy session. And through that, we'll learn more about how OJ Merge can help you and how we're going to move forward and how we're going to go into the new year ready to go, right? Because I'm always for, if we're going into a new year, we might as well make it great. Like, let's not play any games. We don't want to be the same as we were in the prior years. Let's just make this year our very best year. So I thank you again so much for your time. I appreciate you. I love you. And I trust that you will make the right investment in your future And I look forward to future conversations with you. Thanks so much, and I hope you have a great night, day, or morning. Bye-bye.